So I just wanted to go like get that carousel. We're very catcher in the rye over here on the south of the east side of Prospect Park. Going to Unnameable, the place for poetry in New York City tonight to see my man Philip read the Greetings reading series hosted by Jeffrey Joe Nelson. Shout out to Jeffrey Joe Nelson, who writes the best introductions in the biz. Hopefully the carousel comes back on. I don't know. They take like a break every to load the children. I don't. You can't do anything like this anymore. People think you're like a pedo or whatever. You can't be around kids at all. Otherwise, people think, you're some kind of fucking weirdo. I'm just sitting here, okay? I'm just sitting here smoking weed. There just happens to be a carousel. It's a whimsical vibe. It's got that kind of old circus, run away with the circus kind of magic vibe. What do I need to talk about? Well, yeah, so I've left the chat on. Hopefully I don't run into any right-wing troll live streamers. Hopefully I don't get swatted or doxed. The Oxford Dictionary word of the year for 2024, doxed. Yeah, I wanted to talk about one thing I didn't talk about last time, Bob Dylan Day. System Lord was supposed to make we haven't played since November. Last gig System Lord played was Freak Fest. And I just kind of went into hibernation. I'm so bad at emails and texts because I smoke weed all the time. So it's literally impossible for me to send a professional email. Every email I send, is this Palestine colors or is this Jamaica colors, by the way? I wasn't sure if they were painting this bench out of solidarity or just pride. But yeah, here we are. Oh my God, is that Ashley? Are you gonna dox me? Or are you gonna come here? Just kidding. Yeah, System Lord hasn't played since Freak Fest. Went into hibernation, and I just can't write emails. I can't. We're banned from so many venues. I mean, System Lord. Maybe the statute of limitations has passed. I'll have to email Freddie again, see if he's still bitter about the fact that I broke like a mic stand. I broke a mic stand at Freddie's and they banned us for life. And then Young Ethel's, they said we didn't bring in enough people, so they stopped responding to my emails. Pete's Candy Store, I broke the bass drum there. They wanted $150 to fix it. It's that inflation, And so we're just banned. That's how cool we are, New York is decidedly un-rock and roll. And it has been pretty much the whole time I've been here, to be honest. People have always looked at me like I'm crazy, loud. I was talking to this guy. There's this excellent restaurant off Union Square. I gotta mention this. This is free plug. I think it's called Flat Fix or Fix Flats or something like that. They have a pastrami burrito. And they're open late. They're open till midnight, but I've been there a couple times while I'm getting on the train later, and the kitchen was closed and this and that, so I've been meaning to try it, so I finally went yesterday. It's affordable. I don't know if people remember the coffee shop. Coffee shop used to be on Union Square. It was very hip. Models worked there. It was 24/7, I think, coffee shop. David Lee Roth mentions fucking coffee shop in his podcast. He talks about how he used to go there in the fucking 80s and 90s and shit. He lives in Gramercy, so David Lee Roth would slide over to the coffee shop to try to meet some strange, try to pick up some strange. And so, oh wow, thanks for the likes, guys. Here we are. Yeah, we're waiting for the carousel to start up again. Send me money, I'll ride the thing. How about that? Send me money in the comments. Okay, AOC bartender at a coffee shop. There you go. Exactly. That's exactly the kind of place coffee shop is. They hire hot chicks pretty much exclusively. So that place closed. It's now a Chase Bank branch, like everything. And metaphorically, New York City is just a big Chase ATM. It's basically the Hamptons, except, not Sonny and Billy Joel out and shit. So anyway, Yeah, the coffee shop closed. There's this place right next door. It's the same people. It's called Fixed Flats. So I'm talking to the guy who works there. I struck up, you know, they were very cool, very nice. The waiters were all super nice. They remembered my name. It's affordable. It's interesting. I got duck, chat and chew. Okay, chat and chew. That sounds like my kind of place. The chat and chew. Let's just chew the fat. We're chewing the fat here in Prospect Park, everybody. The chat and chew. Maybe that's what I'll call my TikTok chat show. The chat and chew. I recommend Fixed Flats to people. It's owned by the people who own coffee shop. So I'm talking to this guy, and we were both just talking about how there used to be 24-hour restaurants, and you know, he brought up the fact, I didn't even bring it up, that New York has become way more corporate, and that's kind of what's lame about it. And this guy was a lifelong New Yorker, you know? So he's just talking about the vibe of the city and this and that. And he's like, New York City's corny now. And I got to agree. I think New York went from being actually like a cool... Part of the reason why you moved here was because of these funky little mom and pop places like 7A, places like Symphonous, places like Odessa. That seemed different than the rest of America. It seemed like this crazy, fantastic place. Places like Reggio, still there, thank God. I'm trying to think of places when I first came here that just kind of blew. You know, Music Inn is like that. It's still there. But increasingly, right, these places are just going vacant. I hate to harp on this kind of shit, but it's just like, New York is corny. It's suburban and corny. Maybe not Brooklyn, maybe not kind of the gentrifier like Pix 11 did about this diner. Oh my God, a diner 24/7, and that's a nice part of town. That east side over by Madison Square, over on the east side, there's some nice little diners. There's a Taco Bell there that's actually really nice. Oh yeah, they used to own the bait shop. If anybody remembers that live bait place, that was also owned by the coffee shop. I think that was on Madison Square. That place I think is gone. I think it's this Taco Bell. There's a really great Taco Bell on Madison Square. I think it's like at the foot of Madison Avenue. So you got this incredible view, this huge window in the front of the Taco Bell. See, this is what sucks about New York is like, where do I go when I get off work? I go to Popeye's Chicken, I go to Taco Bell. What the fuck is with all the preponderance of Popeye's Chicken? Let me get some carousel for everybody. I mean, Popeye's Chicken has just exploded in New York. That's got to be some kind of money laundering. There's no way that's not money laundering. Let me just I'm going to let it breathe and just play the... Can you hear that? You hear that carousel dope-ass banger? There's Popeye's Chicken. I literally just ate at Checkers. It is corny in Midwestern that the only place you can get food at 3 o'clock in the morning is fucking Taco Bell. Spain, yeah, a lot of people talk about Spain. The waiters there, didn't they wear red jackets? Fedora was like that too. The guy Jeremiah Moss is like the laureate of like vanishing New York, right? I hate to be vanishing New York guy, but what they're replacing it with sucks. You know, it's just becoming this hybrid of like Dubai and like suburbia, you know, where I come from basically. And it's like, that's why and not to be like a gentrifier, fucking colonialist, whatever, but like you moved to New York because it was different than the rest of the country. It had places like Fedora, it had places like Dojo. One of the first places I came in New York, Dojo I think it's on West 4th and like Mercer. They had huge windows. It was like a Hopper painting. And they had cheap food. It was healthy. They had, you know, carrot ginger dressing, and you could get a chicken sandwich for like less than $10. You could sit there as long as you want, right by Washington Square. Ugh. I mean, 7A was like headquarters. 7A was headquarters for everybody that I knew from Columbus. Basically, just like hung out at 7A. Which was a 24/7 diner. It was funky, East Village. I remember going in there, seeing people that looked like You know, the people in the East Village used to look different. They all were wearing black turtlenecks. They looked like, you know, sallow, really pale, kind of dusted. They almost looked like powdered donuts, but very like, you know, good bone structure, sallow cheeks. Mayrose Diner, Broadway, and Flatiron. Yeah, Ohio State. Yeah, exactly. There was all Landmark that Landmark Diner. There was luncheonettes everywhere. You know, that New York is gone. Now what do we have? We have American Bar. We got a lot of like restaurants that feel like country clubs mixed with like Taylor Swift songs. It's a place where rich people's dads feel comfortable taking them out to dinner, and like postgraduate finance chick, you know, Sex in the City, post girls, post Sex in the City. My kind of people are Broad City people. Anybody who likes Broad City, that's generally somebody that I'll fuck with. I didn't really watch Girls. It's a little bit too uppity for me. Buffalo Wild Wings. My girlfriend in college worked at B-Dubs. We used to go to open mic there in college. That was like our weekly ritual. Every Wednesday, shout out to my man Gary. My man Gary, on the corner of Lane and High on campus, they had this fucking rooftop open mic. And me and Jake used to go and play every fucking week. Just cause havoc. At that point, I was too nervous to perform. I was always backing up other people because I was too nervous to sing and do my own songs and stuff by myself. Buffalo Wild Wings in New York City. Well, we got Margaritaville. And in a certain way, I mean, Times Square is sort of the ultimate suburban landscape. You know, it's like Bubba Grump Shrimp Company. What could be more fucking corporate and franchise than that? But so anyway, we were supposed to play this fucking Bob Dylan Day show, and this ties in what we're talking about in Washington Square Park. You know, he's been doing it for 3 years. Shout out to my man Aaron, New York City's foremost Bob Dylan interpreter. So he hosts this amazing event every Bob Dylan's birthday where he gets all these New York artists, folk artists, guitar artists to play Bob Dylan songs in Washington Square Park. I mean, this is New York. Why not? You know, why not fucking celebrate? I mean, it's corny, but that's one of the reasons why I hang out on McDougal and why I'm drawn to that area, because Bob, right? I mean, you're trying to, I don't know, it's pathetic the way I'm trying to like relive the Timothy Chalamet magic of Bob Dylan in the early 60s on McDougal playing the Gaslight or the Cafe Wall. It's gone. It's been gone for a long fucking time. Now it's just corporate rich people fake bohemia. You know, now there is a Cafe Figaro, but it's like Paul's Casablancas or something. Or Tao. I don't know. It's just for rich people. It's just so boring. I'm just so sick of it. Stream snipe Kuma Monster. Alright. Kuma Monster. Is he nice? He's not a troll who's out trying to assault people or anything. Let's get some more carousel action. He's outlandishly cool. Alright, Kuma Monster. He's walking up Broadway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the wealth disparity. This is something I wanted to talk about, is like, I really do think the pandemic, obviously, one of the most distinct lines that was drawn because of the pandemic is they gave everybody cash, right? The people that owned houses, their houses all went up in value. So they already had an asset that exploded in value. Whereas the rest of us, we got cash, but they raised everybody's rent. So we just paid all that cash for our fucking rent, and it's gone now. It just went into the hands of the people who already own the property. And so if you had you know, it's weird because that was like one of the original things in the Constitution, right? It was like, if you weren't a property owner, you didn't have the right to vote. And it's like, it's not quite that extreme, but it is in a way. I mean, if you don't own a house, if you don't have assets, you really got left behind when they printed all the money, because that money just got hoovered back up. You know, there was a little bit of a renaissance after the pandemic. No, that's all right. Thanks for watching. It's like this thing. I heard this in the middle of the lockdown, was like, when there's a pandemic, you know, blood causes things to grow. It's manure. The best fertilizer is actually death, you know, and bodies, and now there's less people for the same amount of resources, so everybody kind of levels up in a way. And it did feel that way for like a second, you know. Everybody had 20 grand. All of a sudden, bam, because the unemployment hit, dropped into the bank account. And, you know, there was a little bit of like people traveling, going to restaurants, spending money, and blah, blah, blah. I know for me, I got that rent-controlled apartment. That was more kind of a circumstantial thing maybe than like economic in a way. That was more like a fear-based thing. The people that lived here ran away because they had money and, you know, ability to do so. Somebody like me, that was my opportunity, and it lasted about 2 years before it burned away. And now we're worse off than ever, right? It was almost like anesthetic or something, you know. It's like when it wears off, the pain is still there. It's just you're feeling it now for the first time. And that's where I feel like we're at now. It's like we were fucking, yeah. That's why New York should maintain these rent-controlled places, and that is so gone. I mean, if you look at affordable government housing now, it's incredibly expensive, and it's all rent stabilized. Everybody brags about how they have rent stabilized apartment, but I'm sorry, it's just not the same thing at all. If you're rent stabilized, you're still paying over $1,000, probably close to $2,000, and they can raise it, what, like 2 to 4%, but they still can raise it. A rent-controlled apartment, you're literally paying like $300. It's not the same thing at all. And those people are all dying. Maybe some of their family and whatnot will inherit that shit, but it's very hard to transfer that outside of family ties. And so all of those rent-controlled apartments are just going to default back to the market. They're going to get renovated, which means the soulless designer developers are going to come in and fucking destroy the place, basically, and then they're going to jack the rent up. This is part of why New York is corny now. Because it's too expensive for interesting people to live here. There you go. I heard there's a lot of great white sharks off Montauk. That's what Jaws is based on. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't understand why the powers that be, I mean, the rich elite class, they don't give a fuck about this kind of stuff. They don't live close to the ground in that way. They don't know how much things are worth. They don't understand that killing the culture of the city is going to destroy their property value. Because that's the reason why people come here. People come here to be artists, to make it, to be creative, because it's an interesting place, because it is different than Iowa. It's not a big fucking Whole Foods, Walmart, Target, McDonald's, even though that's what it's becoming quickly. You know, it would be easy to fix this stuff. In fact, they should fix it all over the whole country, not just New York. What sucks about the United States is the corporate monopoly, basically. You know, the reason why they can charge us as the inflation that they're charging us is because there's monopolies on everything. There is no competition driving the prices down. There are monopolies, and they dictate what we pay for everything. They're buying up all the fucking, yeah, exactly. How much can a banana be? $10? That's rich people. That's everybody in New York. And then we're in the service class serving those people. Trying to make it at stand-up comedy open mics. So yeah, we're playing Dylan Day last Friday. Yeah, I'm not sure how good my internet is going to be in this park. We'll see. I'm going to walk around in a second. I just kind of wanted to smoke and showcase the carousel here. My Holden Caulfield moment. The Catcher in the Rye. Great Guns N' Roses song. Chinese Democracy. Yeah, so we get to Dylan Day. They had no power, so we had to go. They had to leave to go get, System Lord. We can do all battery operated. This is the genius of Nevin, is he's got it all configured, the flow charts and everything, and they can improvise. That stuff is always adapting. The setup, the instrumentation that we use is always mutating, always changing. The rigs of Dad is always changing. And so they were going to run back to the house to get the battery operated System Lord kind of deployment. And the next thing we know, Aaron, who's throwing the thing, is getting arrested by the police. I'm not exactly sure why, but they basically busted the whole thing up. So that's the state of affairs in New York in 2024, is they are actively shutting down Bob Dylan tribute shows in Washington Square Park. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, so we're just talking about how the police, he got arrested. He spent the night in jail. He's out now. But that's what happened at Bob Dylan Day. A sad state commentary on the state of affairs in this country right now. You can't even have a Bob Dylan tribute show in Washington Square Park without the police state cracking down and busting it. So yeah, that's New York right now, I don't know. I'm not like an advocate for crime, but like it would be nice if there was some wildness and some kind of pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of vibe here. But it's not like it's any better anywhere else in America. Unfortunately, it sucks all over. I guess, I don't know. If anybody's on TikTok, you gotta follow Robert Patrick, the T-1000 from Terminator 2, and he was also on Sopranos. What's his name, Davey or whatever? He gets busted out by the crew, the glorified crew, and because he's a gambling addict. He's a great actor, Robert Patrick. He's from Ohio, which I didn't know. He's from Cleveland, actually. But his TikTok account he's like a biker. He's like a Harley guy. And he's got just like this insane, like 1500 cc. He's got the fucking saddlebags. He's got the whole fucking like leathered out. He's in some gang with his boys, New York Dave or whatever. And so Robert Patrick is like TikToking his journey across America. I guess he's ridden his motorcycle across the country like 8 times or something. And that's what I want to do, honestly. That's going to be my next move. Whenever New York just becomes like chaotically uninhabitable because of the oncoming Civil War or whatever, or live streamers just, trolling everybody, and I just want to hit the fucking road. I just want to travel. That's the one thing that I haven't fucking done. I've seen this country a little bit, but it would be fun as fuck to ride a motorcycle across America. And not get any younger. I got to go to Europe, do the Ewan McGregor motorcycle trip. But Yeah, so Robert Patrick, he's super like military. He's like riding his motorcycle to like the Vietnam War Memorial. He's got like, the sides of his head shaved, and on top it's like kind of a pompadour. And it's, he's a hard ass. I had no idea Robert Patrick was like this IRL hard ass. But he told this crazy story about how he was in Lake Erie on a speedboat or something with his friends, and the boat like sank, and he swam like 3.5 hours to the fucking shore to like get the cop rescue people, and they like went out and rescued all his friends and shit. It's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, at that point, that's when I knew I had to go to Hollywood and be an actor and try to chase my dream. I mean, are the dreams dying? And the American dream is dead, right? I mean, you can't even buy a fucking house. Hollywood is dying. They're all pedo, whatever the fuck they're doing out there. New York is cooked. We're cooked, bro. I don't know. I guess I would still move to New York. If I was just graduating college today, I would still move to New York. It's still, I mean, even though everything's expensive and we're living in these desperate circumstances further out than we ever have, it's still this unbelievable, pulsating, exciting, just like multitudinous culture where there's just such incredible people every fucking where you go who are passionate, and the big dogs, Peter Gizzy, fucking John Yao. This is where the big dogs hunt, and you can feel it. So you gotta be here if you want to fucking, but it is frustrating, it is tough to stand out. It's tough to get all the attention that you want to get, but that's what the internet is for. Yeah, so they canceled Dylan Day. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love having the comments section on, but, part of what... It's like, the live stream is kind of like writing to me. Like, I should be writing right now. In fact, what I've really been thinking about recently is, like, maybe I'm just done with poetry. Or, like, I'm not necessarily done with poetry, but, like, I don't necessarily know that, like, pursuing poetry professionally as like my sole fucking thing, particularly without a college degree, or I don't even know that I would say poetry so much as just like literature. In my head I've still got like this harebrained idea, like you come to New York, you have a book, you sell it to some... I saw most of the big publishers' sales come from celebrity fucking memoirs. Most of the money that they spend on books and most of the books that they sell are like celebrity fucking memoirs. And so they said most books that they print, most books that are published today sell less than 1,000 copies. This is like mass market shit that you'll find in bookstores everywhere. It sells less than 1,000 copies. That's like a fucking small press poetry run, basically. A small press poetry run is going to be like 750 copies, 1,000 copies, something like that. And this is one of the things is I think, to me, it didn't even occur to self-publish until I was like fucking over 30 because of the stigma against it, or just like the idea that you have to get signed, right? It's almost like the music industry. It's like you have to get fucking a record contract or you're not real. And that landscape has just shifted so quickly out from under us, over the past 10 years that it's like, all these other fields, music, whatever, people are sustaining a living, making content online. I guess authors are doing the same thing. They should be. But it's like, I don't know, how the fuck do you make a dent as like an author anymore? I mean, I saw that Honor Levy book is getting like shitloads of attention, and she went to Bennington with Ashley. She was in fucking classes with Ashley, and like, I think it's like a Nepo baby thing. I think her parents are in the film industry or something, and it's just like, it's all press. People believe the press, so that shit does kind of matter if you're in the fucking New York Times or the New Yorker, but they would rather publish Tom Hanks' fucking short story. You know, let's publish Tom Hanks' novel. So I guess my point here is, like, it's cool to have your kind of niche poetry celebrity or whatever, but it's like, I should have spent the last 10 years trying to make movies. And because if you get famous, then they'll publish your book. And it'll probably sell. I mean, the most famous example of this, obviously, James Franco, right? How many fucking books has this dude published, right? You know, and I love poetry and I live it to the fucking hilt. But, you know, it was hard enough. Poetry is sort of like famously impossible to make a living doing. And this is like a joke they've been making for like centuries. You know, this is not anything new. It's like poetry has always been this kind of hopeless job that nobody wants to fucking... Hopefully my signal will maintain out here. I'm literally like in the goddamn woods, so I hope I don't lose. You know, if I get lost, send help. We're in Prospect Park here. This is like fucking the greatest filmmaker alive, David Attenborough. I love David Attenborough nature documentaries. To me, Netflix never got better than when it was just like mostly David Attenborough nature documentaries. Those were the greatest films. And Scenes from a Life was originally supposed to be sort of like David Attenborough, but for like human beings. You know, like the way they'll show like animal behavior, and then David Attenborough kind of like narrates and tells you, oh, the opossum is, you know, this is the mating dance. You know, I wanted to do that, but for like people, for human. It's an anthropological study, really. Okay, we're on the loop now. We're back on Civilization. That's right. Smoking weed and live streaming. All these people, all these jack-offs try to exercise. What the fuck was I talking about? Movies, writing. Oh yeah, making a living as a poet. You know, it is infuriating seeing these people who make six figures and who travel to Italy and all this kind of shit. You know, for working at academic positions. But it does feel like, I don't know, the position of poet, you have no fucking choice. The fact that there even are these academic positions is kind of a miracle. Like, why not just do that? It's probably one of the few ways you could make a living, actually, as a poet. I mean, you're certainly not going to sell that many fucking books. And so, I guess it's just I'm hating because I'm not a part of that party. You know, but the way that the political thing has amped up over the past decade, it has felt like people just use that stuff to get these jobs and to get, that's privilege. You know, people use the fact that, you know, they get hired because you have to hire them because you're racist if you don't or whatever. And, I don't know. It's just definitely been complicated trying to figure out where you fit as a white male trying to write or you know, I guess I had some naive idea that if I just did stuff and lived and just did it, it would gain momentum and people would notice and it would take off. You know, I think I am a cool person. I think I am an American hero. I think I should be sensationalized by the media. That was the whole point. Is, you know, young people in the middle of this country should be reading, oh, this guy, look, he's live streaming in Prospect Park. He's a poet. He's got these vlogs. He publishes his own shit. You know, he's comedian, blah, 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 blah. Like, these were my kind of heroes. People who actually were cool. You know, it's like now the people that are popular on fucking YouTube, Jesus Christ. I know I harp on it all the time, but Andrew Schultz, fucking, who, you know, the Bert Kreischer, all these fucking guys, all the Rogan podcasters. They have bad style. They're just, I don't know. Anybody who gets a platform on the internet, it's almost just like they're kind of a thinly veiled fascist or something. It's quiet out here. It's kind of nice. Listen to that shit. So yeah, I don't know. On the one hand, it's kind of weird now, like, because now that I have the chat on, people do sort of watch more. You know, like the other day, I think I had 7 or 8 people watching. That's huge numbers for me. How pathetic is that? How the fuck do I get people to look at me on the internet and pay me money for it? Oh, God. The thing is, I just think it'd be fun to make movies. I think it'd be fun to pretend. I think I'm going to write a movie that's just exactly my life. I'm just going to write exactly what happens to me. All of the negative shit, all of like the fucking stuff you're not supposed to talk about. I feel like if you filmed it, then it would become acceptable or something. I don't know. I'm losing viewers. Look at this. Oh my God, I'm blowing it. I don't know what to talk about. Just walking. I mean, I saw this TikTok video, walking the best exercise. I do believe that, way better than running. Bipedal, we've been conditioned to do this for thousands of years. Oh my God, it's just so nice and quiet. I can't believe I'm getting signal out here. It's kind of sad, actually. This is kind of sad that this is possible. Oh my God, it smells so great. Like, I'm out here, it's moist, you know, it's so soft and brown and just alive. Everything is just throbbing, and yet I've got my selfie stick, and oh my God, this is like Walden. This is what Thoreau would be doing. He'd be live streaming his daily walks. He'd probably be some psycho on TikTok talking about how we're an alien slave farm. What other explanation could there be? Why do they want to manufacture pain amongst the populace? Why do they want most of us to be poor? I mean, have you seen these clips of people on Mount Everest climbing the fucking peak of Mount Everest? I guess a couple people died because they fell off. It's literally like they're in a line, like holding a fucking rope, like it's like, you know, packed with fucking people. It's like a line at a fucking amusement park for like the Magnum or something. This is at the top of the goddamn mountain. People waiting to just like have their turn. And of course there's fucking trash everywhere. Base camp. There's plastic every fucking place. Oxygen tanks, whatever. So these people are literally just standing, you know, hundreds of them in a line, waiting, you know. They can't move. A couple people just fell off and died because the snow is melting. Because it's so fucking warm because of global warming. That the snowpack on the top is like fucking melting. And so, these people like fell off. Scenes from the dystopia. You know, when I'm trying, you know, like, so, like, in my head, I'm trying to think of, like, what movie I should make. You know, like, what should I write a script about? And it's just like there's too many fucking things. How would you possibly write a fucking movie that ball out? And just too big. It's just too big of a fucking picture. Mazursky has a nice kind of way, like a novelist, where he just kind of shows you the story. It's kind of personal, but it's not too personal. It's not too avant-garde. It's not too postmodern. You know, he doesn't invade the narrative with any kind of like Brechtian bullshit, like Godard and all these people that I love. He just kind of lets it, it's kind of romantic the way he just lets it play. It seems like it'd be easy. You know, I think Baumbach, this is my Noah Baumbach film, by the way. Walking Through Prospect Park. This is the Squid and the Whale sequel. Yeah, so it's like with poetry, it's just like there's no jobs. There's no jobs for you. Unless you just want to be like kind of an alt-lit influencer, professor. You know, if you're cool enough to get accepted into that. I mean, I've railed against it so much on the internet, I don't know. This is a beautiful bridge. I've always thought this was... See, this is nice. This is nice right here. This is what you need. This kind of, you know, we don't need everything to be hyper landscape architected. Just let nature be, you know, let it be wild. Let it take over. So you got the nice bridge, you know, this is like the sublime. This is like fucking Tintern Abbey here. Just gonna put this here for, just appreciate this bridge. It's a nice shot. I mean, I've found that this is actually kind of an interesting way of filmmaking because it's like a video essay, it's like a diary, it's like a monologue, it's like a stand-up thing, it's like an oral poem, but it's also like I can set up compositions. It's got the Aaron Sorkin kind of walk and talk steady cam thing. I just want to make movies about talking, really. But scripting them does feel kind of important. It does feel, especially right now where, I know this is ironic me saying this because I'm Mr. Filming Real Life, but everybody's filming real life now. So I think scripting conversations and acting them out, pretending, it's magical. It's maybe dying out. Who knows? I mean, it's like an endangered species. You know, it's to me, there's something, it's almost like nature, the way that animals are kind of magical. There's something so honest and just like, I don't know, there's something about animals that is actually kind of like more enchanting than humans. And acting and pretending and writing and directing and putting on plays is kind of like that. It's kind of just like this crazy, weird, and you know, I love living the part and all that, but having a little bit of artifice, having a little bit of, it's fun, I don't know, presentational, you know. But my problem was a lot of films and things just didn't reflect reality at all, especially when they become genre things. I guess that's also magical because that's like kind of mysterious and, you know, removed from how life actually is. That's probably what makes it interesting, is how it's different. We watched Postman Always Rings Twice, or we watched the first 2/3 of it. It's apparently it's part of a subgenre called cocaine noir. I don't know if I mentioned that the other day. I probably did. Cocaine noir, and That's like 80s. Color, Body Heat, Big Easy. Guys in the set, you know, it's like Robert Towne directed Tequila Sunrise. So it's like the hangover of the 70s. They all did cocaine. Apparently cocaine made them all hard. It made them harder. You know, I read this thing, Patty Boyd was talking about George Harrison. She said George loved cocaine. When he started doing cocaine in the 70s, it changed him. He got kind of cold-hearted. His feelings kind of froze up. Cocaine has this kind of icy, I don't know. I've never even seen cocaine, really. I'm not interested. But cocaine noir, on the other hand, kind of interesting. The colors. Just the fact they were even, you know, the 80s kind of neon. The fact that they were even doing kind of noir at that time. Because, I mean, that's really what Postman Always Rings Twice is. It's really like a movie from the 40s. It's just they made it in 1980 or whatever. The set, you know, the shots, the technique, the script. It feels like they were just trying to make like Body or White Heat or something. Or it's a remake. It is a remake. You know, I think it would be important to make films about poets. That's why I do my vlog. I'm just trying to show people how to do it. You know, not necessarily that you have to do it the same way, but it's like you can live outside the law, okay? To live outside the law, you must be honest. You must write poetry and read it publicly. And poets just apply kind of their creative maker inventiveness to all of life. And that's, you know, that's what we need in this country. We need the old weird America. We need a handmade America. We need a small business America. You know, the problem with America is that it's blanketed and everybody's put into these corporate roles where they wear a corporate uniform. You work at Starbucks, you work at McDonald's, you work at Chipotle, or whatever the fuck it is. Bank of America, Nationwide Insurance. And there probably has to be corporations for certain things, this and that. But it's more interesting and it's better. It's a more vibrant world if everybody everywhere gets to start their own coffee shop, gets to start their own. I mean, how much more interesting would it be if for every Starbucks there was just like somebody who had their own coffee shop. They got to decorate it however they wanted. They could have events there. That's what New York was. New York was a place like Moscow on the Hudson. One of the things that's great about that movie is it really shows the New York experience, but also the immigrant experience. I mean, he's got every job you can think of in that movie. He's a cab driver. He's, works in a grocery store. But he eventually becomes a musician, right? He's eventually able to make a living playing his saxophone. And he's got his own apartment, but it takes a while. That's totally New York. That was the immigrant experience. Maybe it still is. I don't know. It seems like everybody who moves here is probably getting one of those e-bikes and they're a fucking bike delivery guy. Which is okay, but we're just like plug and play. You work at Starbucks, you work at MFA Mick University, Ohio State University. And if you're a poet, you have to be all of these things. It's like Rilke said, I want my own death. You know, he didn't just want this hospital kind of mandated insurance company like, okay, you're a 78-year-old male, this is how you're going to die. We'll sell you your death on the installment plan, right? Celine. We financed it for you. We've designed your funeral and your end of life care to cost just as much as the amount you have saved up for your retirement. Whatever you have left, we'll just take that and then, you get cremated or whatever. That's one thing Robert Patrick's doing on his TikTok. He's taking his buddy Dozer around. He's got Dozer in a little bag. He's like, this is what's left of Dozer. We're leaving Dozer at, the Vietnam Vet Memorial. We're leaving a little bit of Dozer in Indiana. We're leaving a little bit of Dozer here in whatever, California. At the La Quinta Inn, or the Motel 6. You know, it's just like Route 66 is a perfect example of this. When I traveled across the country, I saw this, right? Route 66, the local kind of highway, pre-interstate, is all these funky little Eat at Joe kind of diner places. Everything's painted, murals, you know, weird teepee, you know, kind of weird tourist attractions, trying to, you know, that's the marketplace. That's the fucking free market. People doing outlandish things trying to get your attention so that you'll give them money. Right now, there's this banality. There's this fascist banality of Target, Walmart, McDonald's, Sweet Green. You know, now it's like these fucking like minimalist tech, you know, business like Tend. It's not a dentist, but it's like you pay them $200 a year, they'll clean your teeth. They'll whiten your teeth. Or that Botox fucking place that I jacked. I saw this fucking restaurant. There used to be all these great Asian restaurants, right? St. Mark's Books was right there on Stuyvesant Street or whatever that is. There's like this little weird street that goes into the church between Astor Place and 2nd Avenue. I think it's called Stuyvesant Street. And it used to be all these funky little cool restaurants, kind of hot pot type places. Now it's this restaurant called Wonder or something like that. And it's 5 restaurants in one. I think it's a ghost kitchen. Basically, it's a ghost kitchen. You can get food from 5 different places, but it's sort of nondescript. And it's just got this kind of tech, minimalist, matte painted. It's ugly. It's boring. It's killing our souls. You know, the texture of what's around us. It's part of us. It bounces back at us. It feeds us. So it matters. I just watched an article. I read an article. I'm losing viewers. I read an article about losing followers is good. You have to climb a mountain of cringe before you, believe me, I've climbed the cringe mountain a few times. I'm like a Sherpa on Cringe Mountain, okay? I'm going up and down Cringe Mountain, helping other people climb Cringe Mountain. I'm a tour guide on Cringe Mountain, okay? I don't know how to get to off Cringe Mountain. How do I get off Cringe Mountain? Hopefully my bandwidth and shit is good. I know I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, but I'm hemorrhaging viewers. I guess I'm just so boring and negative and, we're fixing America's problems, okay? That's what this is about. I'm running for office here. This is my RFK Jr. attempt. So yeah, poetry is the answer. Walking is the answer. Vlogging, hanging out with your friends, meditating, eating good food, talking to strangers. It's not complicated. It's just the powers that be want to serve their alien overlords on the pain farm, on the suffering farm. We're already in the Matrix, okay? I basically was in the fetal position on TikTok for 3 hours just feeding myself serotonin. Just, muling for serotonin. The pap of serotonin, just feeding myself I might as well be in some kind of weird fucking chamber. You know, they've separated me from my family and friends. I'm just feeding the content data farms, the data centers of the Midwest. How are they going to power all this shit? How are they going to power the data centers? You know, they're using our hydroelectric power. They're going to build nuclear everywhere so they can store our information. For some reason. Are we really that interesting? You really find us that interesting, Google? That you have to, memorize everything we ever do. Jeez. How did the internet just become a big stalking machine? I guess that, it's weird how much human beings like deny stalking or like act like it's so, because that's all it is. That's all the internet is. It's like a legalized kind of discrete form of stalking. And it's like, it's optimized. They really make it, you just put somebody's name into this website. They've gotten rid of all the other websites. Those are the only websites left. They're like, not that I don't stalk anybody. Of course not. Of course I'm not stalking people on the internet. Oh, we've hit 0 viewers. A new low. See? I don't know what happened. It's just, sometimes you're hot, that's entertainment. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you got buzzed, sometimes you don't, You just ride those waves. Is this weed? Is this weed here? So yeah, we're just on a nature walk here. We're forest bathing. In Japan, they have they have all the great concepts. They have all these kind of, like wabi-sabi. They have all these great kind of, Zen-like things where they capture. It's like those words for things that we don't have words for or whatever. So in Japan, they have the concept of forest bathing. That forest bathing was feeling pretty good over there, I gotta say. It was marked difference. I mean, in Midwood is like Israel. There's no trees. It's just like a rocky desert. Landlocked. Well, Israel's not landlocked, but I mean, Midwood, that's why it's called mid. There's no wood. But it's super mid, and it's landlocked. It's right in the middle of fucking the landmass of whatever, Gravesend. I've lost all my viewers. Well, it's afternoon, you watch this later. I've been getting, it's weird because certain of my live streams will get like almost 200 clicks, and then the other ones get about half as many, get like 70 or 80 clicks. And so it's kind of weird, because it's like, am I oversaturating? If I only do 1 a week, it doesn't feel like enough. But if I do 2 a week, I don't know. I'm starting to get nervous because I have more people watching. And so I'm like, oh, what do I talk about? What do I talk about? And to be honest, I love the comments. I love people in the comments. I feel like I scared everybody away. But I don't know. I do get nervous if anybody's watching. So it's kind of easier for me to just tape and then you watch it later. I don't know. Maybe my weed is also not hitting this week. I got this really terrible, not potent at all. It's very watered down. So it's kind of nice sometimes to have that because, I'm not quite as much of a maniac. I'm more relatable. I'm not as like Charles Manson-like. Not that, no, I mean, isn't that beautiful? Running water. See the changes in the light? Hustling. I mean, it's no point complaining about the way things are, but I do think this is like a central issue. Like cost of living is crazy, especially when we keep hearing all this stuff about how the economy is doing so great. The economy's booming and the market's at 40,000 and blah, blah, blah. It's like, sucks to be me. I'm not getting any of that. I shared some stats the other day about, I don't have them at hand, but the percentage of people that own stock in this country, it's like the top 1% owns like 90% of the stock, or, something really lopsided. And then also like black people of color own like almost no, like they own like 0.3% of all the stock. You know, so if you want to point to like a wealth disparity, especially a racial one, I mean, that to me is right in your face. If most of the value in the economy is doing well in our society is like the market, and people of color own 0.3% of that, that seems to me wildly apartheid. And that's really where it counts. I mean, it's also just like the richest people own stock and nobody else does. I mean, I don't know anybody that owns any fucking stock. Not any significant amount. I mean, I imagine most poor people probably... I wouldn't even know how to do it. I wouldn't even know how to go about buying it. What, you do that on an app? I wouldn't even know how to fucking do that. Like, maybe I should, I thought about it. Maybe I should just go into finance. Why not just become a finance bro? Those guys can do it. They're the ones that live in the West Village. At least I'd get to live in the West Village. Rather than wasting my time being poor as fuck, getting nowhere. The other thing is I'm just too nervous in Poetry World. You know, like I just am so intimidated by all these people. And they don't, I'm just such a pick-me guy or something. I'm just like this animated, loud. You know, I don't necessarily feel that they all look at me like I'm a freak. Like I'm Tigger or something. I'm just jumping all over the place. I'm bouncing all over the walls. Is this the big one? This can't be. Holy shit, how did I end up here? No, this is not possible. This is in the Longmeadow. I did spend a lot of time in Prospect Park when I first moved to New York. You know, when the Slooge was literally like 4 blocks from here. You know, so you could walk to Prospect Park in like, 10 minutes. So like my first, where the fuck am I? No, okay, yeah, this is like a little yard. Oh, look at all these dogs. This must be the dog yard. You know, and I do love Prospect Park. It is like totally fucking amazing. I guess the guys that designed this, and they also designed Central Park, Olmsted, and Bow, I think they designed some park in Chillicothe, in Ohio, where my dad's from. Southern Ohio. So somehow they went from Chillytown to the Big Apple. There was some other Chillicothe reference in something I was watching the other day. Somebody name dropped Chillicothe. Yeah, there they are. The dogs. Gotta love the dogs, man. I do think there's too much pet. Dogs have too much power in this city. There's too many anytime like Cafe Dante or some great place closes, they always turn it into like a pet grooming store, a fucking pet like, hotel or whatever. Or like a dog cafe. I don't know. Just grump, okay? I'm just the Andy Rooney of 24, okay? I just get on YouTube and just gripe about how everything sucks now. And it used to be better. I mean, could you write a novel on a live stream? I heard that the guy, Matt Weiner, who had a Paris Review interview, the creator of Mad Men, he was also a writer on Sopranos, he would write scenes on Mad Men on like a tape recorder. You know, he wouldn't write anything down. He would do all the fucking characters. He'd do like Roger Sterling, you know, or Pete or whatever. He'd do all of them. And he'd just like dictate it. And then he'd transcribe it. It's like, I think that's kind of a cool way to write a script. I don't know. You know, the thing about movies is like once you've written a script, you feel like you've made it once. Then you got to go out and film it. I don't know. Hi, buddy. You know, you got to have that satisfaction of doing it and realizing it at the same time. It's hard in a movie. You know, that's why I'd like to improvise a movie. I'd love to just get some people and go out and make a movie. Just get some creative people. I think that's part of the fun of making a movie. It's like you have to be good with people. You're getting a group of people together. You're kind of, you know, feeling, you know, by casting them, you're kind of like feeling out they can do this. Or it's kind of magical when you cast the right person and it really comes to life. That really can be exciting to see that kind of stuff fall into place. But I don't know, it's work, and I'd like to improvise a movie, you know, like a Cassavetes thing. Just get some crazy actors and go out and just like, you know, just gun it, you know? And that's basically what we did when we were kids. I don't know, I feel like if I did make a movie now, it'd probably be exactly like the movies made in college. People would just think it's very amateurish. I like Ed Wood. I was too close to Ed Wood. I don't know. But I look back now, I think my films are actually really beautiful and amazing. They were way ahead of their time. To be honest. But, you know, I'm very, this is why I do poetry, is because I have no discipline. And I mean, this is why nobody likes my poetry, is because they can tell that I just cut every corner I can. I take every shortcut. I don't want to do anything hard. That's the secret to my art, okay? I don't do anything hard. On Monday, it was Memorial Day, so I played these country songs at open mic because I just thought it was kind of a funny, well, I don't know. I wanted to do like a theme, but I figured if I did it, I don't know how people were going to be into the country theme. I don't know if they were really going to be into it. With these holidays, it's awkward because you're like, you know, nobody really wants to celebrate Memorial Day in that room. But at the same time, it's like, I love doing themes and I love differentiating it. Okay, Ashley. And so I played these country songs and I rehearsed a few. I actually did sort of rehearse. It doesn't even matter if I rehearse. It does not matter if I rehearse. Something happens when you get on stage. Especially, I didn't have any of my own equipment. Thank you, Lewis Mason, for letting me borrow your guitar. It was awesome. His guitar was actually dope, and he was super nice about it. He wasn't, like, precious about it at all. He was super cool about it. He wasn't like, oh, be careful with my baby or anything. He was just like, sure, man, take it. Okay, love you, Ashley. We'll see you soon. And so I rehearsed a few songs. I rehearsed, God, what did I want to play? Well, I was maybe going to do Mama Tried, which I should have done. And I was also maybe going to do Country Roads, because I know that would just kill. Everybody knows this song. But I ended up playing, I massacred King of the Road. I absolutely butchered it to pieces. It was the worst job I've ever done. It was absolutely terrible, and I apologize to Roger Miller because I fucked it all up. I was out of key. I mixed up all the verses. It was fucking terrible. And all right, we got the lake coming up here. This will be nice. I don't know where I'm going. Then, you know, it doesn't even matter what I rehearse, because when I get up there, I have to do whatever comes into me at the time because I just have to go on whatever energy. That's like my cardinal rule on stage is like I get super high and I just have to go with whatever energy, whatever thing comes into my head. And so for the second song, I just started to play Chattahoochee. The great Alan Jackson. I mean, Alan Jackson is slept on, okay? For those who don't know, he's a great artist. He's a great songwriter. His voice is amazing. You know, the thing about that country stuff, particularly before the new shit, country is real fucking weird the last couple of years. It's super dark and Alan Jackson's shit slaps, dude. It's big time fucking bangers. Okay. Do it, Ashley. Do that, okay? But Chattahoochee is an all-time classic. Here, speaking of Chattahoochee, this is the Brooklyn Chattahoochee right here. What would the Brooklyn Chattahoochee be? It would probably be the canal, wouldn't it? Be like the Gowanus Canal. To me, it was weirdly appropriate. The Chattahoochee was the East River. I mean, we're in the East Village. We're not far from a river. We're not far from a Chattahoochee type situation. Look at that beauty. Look at that gorgeous beauty. This is meditation time. And Chattahoochee has that great guitar lick, that down and down and down and down. I don't know what you call that. Is that honky tonk, or that's boogie woogie, or is that that's the ramrod? Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, never saw somebody what I meant to me. But it's just a great song. He's considerate about his okay. Ashley's blowing up the chat. It would not be a live stream without Ashley absolutely blowing up the chat. Okay. So yeah, anyway, Chattahoochee. I'm a hillbilly, really. And so these country songs, I don't know, it's just like, the thing about that music, I don't know why it isn't more played by people. When I was growing up, I do think there was like a stigma against it. Like if you listen to country, if you were a redneck, that was one of the things about wrestling. Wrestling was like for rednecks. If you watch like Hulk Hogan, it was like distinctly like hillbilly culture. And if you were dumb enough to believe wrestling was real, you were probably a dumb hillbilly, like Hulk Hogan. And those guys all had kind of strong, like redneck swag. They had like Corvette, swag, and like, you'd find them in like Daytona or whatever, or Pensacola, or PCB, baby. Okay, Ashley, log off for Christ's sake. Walden, Brooklyn's Walden. With me bitching about the hypocrisy of modern poetry. Okay, Ashley, we can go here soon. Okay, I'll take you here. I'll take you here, Ashley. Ashley just said she hates me. Did you see that, everybody? Do you see the way she talks to me? She said, I hate you. The truth comes out. Ashley actually hates me. I knew it. I knew she was just doing this to punish me. Okay, so anyway, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. Yeah, the Gowanus Canal was like a Chattahoochee for me. The Scioto was a Chattahoochee. The creek at the golf course was like a Chattahoochee. We all have our own Chattahoochees. You know, that's what makes it a classic. It's this elemental story. We go to the water. This is a timeless thing. You know, the Tigris and Euphrates are a Chattahoochee. The fact he rhymes it with hoochie coochie, the fact that that's the first line, they knew what they were doing. They was cooking. They was cooking, all right? Down on the Chattahoochee, over yonder. You want to go this weekend? I don't know. It's not going to be that warm, I don't think. Yeah, this year will be all about the beach and the ocean. We did the park. We did Central Park. Now we have to go on the poetry cruise. This is just a cruise. Okay, I've got 20%. Oh, man, how do I only have 20%? Okay, so I'll do till, like, after 10%. So I'll do probably 90 minutes or something. Oh, God. Yeah, and then I closed with Ramblin' Fever, which I also just surprised. I didn't think I was going to play that. The thing is, the guitar licks really work on stage. I don't know why, you know, because people are really afraid. When I was in bands, we were all terrified to play solos. Nobody wanted to play any kind of solo at all. My brother didn't want to play drum solos. The guitar solos were always looked on sort of like as a joke. And even in Holy Smokes, I mean, neither one of us, we certainly did not consider ourselves lead guitar players. You know, I've never been that guy who's like memorizing scales. I know a pentatonic, I know a major scale. That is it. That's all I fucking know. That's all you need to know. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. I mean, you can learn that stuff. Definitely, if you want to learn that stuff, learn it. Oh, great. Did I piss everybody off in the chat? Hi, Ashley's mom. Thanks for watching. Is that your mom in the chat? Is your mom in the chat? Hi, Ashley's mom. I mean, are you appreciating this background? This is like Chekhov here, god damn it. Oh, you were on a call with her. You know, to me, it's like Chekhov. It's like you take Chekhov one step further. It's a live stream. This is what Chekhov would be doing, okay? He'd be streaming on Kick. Okay, maybe I should go the other way. Montgomery Clift is buried nearby. I don't know if people know that. But Montgomery Clift, you're stuck in your bedroom. Are you coming to the reading or not? Montgomery Clift is buried in Prospect Park. How crazy is that? See, New York is just this continuum. You just walk through so many different worlds and vistas and vibes and scenic kind of setups and, you know, scenes, really. You walk through so many apprehensions and images. It's quite extraordinary, really. Look at this. Maybe I'll sit here for 1 second. Nobody bothers me. It's a nice little view. Well, this has been quite an epic, really. I mean, most walks are epic. You know, you walk through so much different shit. That's why people don't like to take them. Because they're just so fucking giving. They're just too much. You know? It's not like a TV show. It's not like binge watching some fucking show. It's like you never know what you're going to see or where you're going to go or fucking, all right. Ashley just said she hated me again. Is your mom seeing that? Is your mom watching my live stream or what? Hopefully your dad isn't. I don't think he'd love it. what I've ever accomplished with my life, other than this live stream. I think I scared everybody out of my chat. They didn't appreciate that I told them to shut the fuck up. It just cost myself and my viewers. The thing about the stream is it's like, other than the shorts, fucking YouTube really promotes the fuck out of those shorts. That's the best way to get views and subscribers. But the live streams really are the best way to get subscribers. Particularly, you know, if you're walking around, people, you know, even if they don't want to listen to my ass, they can just check out that scenery. I mean, come on, look at that shit. Yeah, just meet me over here somewhere, okay? I'm gonna be done in just a few minutes. What the fuck was I talking about? Maybe that's what I should call my show. What was I talking about? What the hell was I talking about? Boy. You know, imagine 30 years ago, this would have been how many VHS tapes, VHS-C tapes, mini DV tapes. Nobody would ever see it. You should be looking like a crazy person walking around filming. Now you can endlessly film yourselves online. Just upload it to the data centers. There's no limits. There's no limits, everybody. On the internet. Okay, let me check my little list, see if there's anything else I need to talk about. Oh, yeah. I don't know. How the hell do other people rehearse? That's something I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah, Proctor from the Police Academy movies. Did I ever talk about Proctor from the Police Academy movies? I think I got interrupted. The only character in literature is Proctor from the Police Academy movies. Police Academy 4, and he's the biggest doofus in the Police Academy movies, which is saying something because they're all doofuses. I'm just so taken aback by the scenery that I'm speechless. You know, there's beauty all around us. Just gotta let it be, you know, just witness it. Just observe it. It's all about, you know, noticing, observing. That's kind of my occupation. You can't get paid for that, though, really. I mean, you have to turn it into, you know, convincing meme nuggets of language. I don't know. We're going to this reading tonight at Unnameable Philip reading, so we're stoked about that. Want to see Nashville Nor'easter, the house band. They do this kind of cool free jazz beforehand. Relaxed. Yes, Ashley, I'll meet you, okay? So just leave, I'll meet you. Stop blowing up the chat. This guy over here is taking a piss, so I'm gonna walk around him. Maybe I'll get back on the loop here. Yeah, I used to come to Prospect Park a lot in the early days. Just, you know, be pensive, be solitude, be alone. Now there's a great Checkers over here. I think I walked the opposite way of the way I need to go. I'm gonna be done when after my phone hits 10%. So pretty soon. Where can I walk safely? thing about these assholes, these entitled white assholes on the bikes, is they will kill you. They will just run you down. They're not going to stop. You can't interrupt their little cardiac arrest that they're, executing on themselves. They can't stop. What stop? I don't know. Just meet me by the library. Meet me over by the library, okay? Stop typing in all caps. It is so obnoxious and rude. Okay? Please do not type in all caps. It's psychotic. It's insane. I'm going to use it in court when someday I have to prosecute you. I mean, I'm going to use it as evidence. Look at what she did. I need a restraining order. Okay. I'm rude for being in Beauty without Ashley. I didn't expect to be in Beauty, really. I mean, I've walked through Prospect Park a million times. Well, maybe not a million times, but I don't come by the lake that often. I didn't really live over on this side. But I don't know. It's definitely more local. It's more kind of working class. It's more diverse, I would say, than Central Park. Central Park just feels hyper. It's like a country club. It's like a private. It's like being at Winged Foot or something. You can feel like the American Express card logos. It feels like a golf tournament. And I've been in Prospect Park and they have these big Chase. Oh, it's a Chase like team event, employee thing. We've got all these fucking like signs and shit and all these ugly ass Prospect Park. You see it's very diverse. You see all kind of barbecue, cookout. You see people on the big lawn. But, Central Park is still kind of iconic. All right, I'll meet you by the library. Okay. Okay. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been doing... I got to get out and do some stand-up comedy. It's been a while since I've been to a stand-up comedy open mic. I've been doing this, basically. This is what I've been doing instead of spending $5 to waste my time in front of 6 people in a dark room. Nobody laughing. But to be honest, I love filming in the comedy clubs. That's the reason why I would go. Because it's like I could get up and I could film myself in West Side Comedy Club or whatever. And then I put it in my vlog. I don't know how many people actually watch my vlog. I get about 30 specific to me. Like my poetry readings are very low clicks for my account. Nobody wants to see that shit. My vlogs, not that high of clicks. But the live streams get a good amount of clicks. That's why I've been doing them. Because it's like, I've had the most success. I get more views. I get more view time. I get more subscribers. Most of my success on YouTube, I owe to just like the thousands of fucking hours I've put in yapping. All of my everything, secrets, opinions, any fucking thing I could possibly think of at the time. I think I literally just did a big loop around the lake. I just did a big circle. God, these city bikes are out of control, man. Look at that shit. That guy's like torpedoing down the fucking... Because he's pedaling and he's got an engine. He's off-road. On that fucking thing. Whoever built that thing should build the Cybertruck. That fucking city bike, that thing is indestructible. That Cybertruck is a piece of shit. It's like the fucking, what was that vessel they sent down to the Titanic? It's about that level of engineering and craftsmanship. Here's this legendary location. Me and Vidicor, shout out to Vidicor, we shot part of his film over here. The brilliant Matt Vidicor. Hero. Another American hero. Okay, I'm on 10%, so I'll just do a few more minutes, everybody. Thank you for watching. It's not that I'm running out of things to say. It's just like part of the process of doing this is getting this stuff to surface. And, you know, the whole week I'm looking at things. This is why maybe I should do like react videos or comment on something that's happening while it's happening. Because that's when you think of the ideas. That's when you go, oh, I want to talk about this thing in the culture or this thing. That's indicative of the zeitgeist, the malaise, the late stage capitalism, the collapse of the empire. Is this self-fulfilling prophecy? Are we just telling ourselves these? I mean, they've been saying that the United States has been collapsing for a long time. Well, they just want us to believe that because they want us to hoist ourselves on our own petard and fall upon our own scabbard. You know, not that I really give a fuck about the United States, but it would be nice if where I have to live, because the United States is like this isolated prison colony. It's like you can't really get out. It's a lot of paperwork, and it's just a long way to get out of this country. I mean, the United States is geographically isolated. That's one of the factors that I think keeps people in this country ignorant and stuck in this way of life that's so poisonous and uninteresting. Is like nobody goes anywhere. It's very hard to get out of the United States. Maybe you'll go to Myrtle Beach or the Smoky Mountains or fucking Miami or the Key West or New Orleans or whatever, Asheville. It's hard to even get that far. You got to drive your fucking car or whatever. You got to get on a plane. So we're just stuck here. We're fucked. We don't really know anything else, you know? But country music, I think country music is one of the better parts of white people America. You know, if there's all these fucking white people trying to play blues, that to me is appropriation. But, I mean, not that country music was invented by white people, but I don't know. To me, that just hits differently. If you're trying to imitate... If you're trying, you know, I don't know. I just think and oddly enough, I think in New York, a lot of people could relate to it in a weird way. Because I don't know, we live in Taylor Swift, New York. Taylor Swift started out in country music. Sort of. And because there's a commercial, it's weird how Nashville has maintained its existence as sort of like this other place. It's not New York, it's not LA, but it's a cultural kind of, bastion. I don't know, is that the wrong word? But there's a lot, particularly as a literary form, you know, country music is very rich. And it just slaps. It was weird because I did such a bad job on Monday. I could feel the audience wanting to clap. And I just could not get on track to the point. I could feel them being into it, but I was just kind of sloppy. And I was all over the place harmonically when it came to singing. I was out of key. But that's one of the reasons why I've been playing music. It's like I want to challenge myself. I want to do something different. And it's actually a lot of fun playing music in front of that many people. You know, at the beginning of the open mic, there's usually 30 or 40 people. And so, you know, if you can get them clapping, it's pretty cool, actually. It's way better than playing to nobody, which is what most of my gigs are. Oh, God, you can hear this fucking Bob Marley song. It's going to block my stream. That's going to block the important things I have to say. Let me walk away from it. All right, I'm going to sign off pretty soon, but you know, I actually like playing guitar solos. It was what I was going to say earlier. You don't need a shitload of technique, you know, but just like it's an abstract thing. You know, it's an improvisational thing. It's an emotional thing. But it's still, you know, the thing about a guitar solo, it's almost like paint. It's like, it's muted, it's not articulating in like an intellectual content way, but it still has properties of form and texture and color and meaning. I don't think I knew how to process that stuff when I was younger. You know, it's not really about how fast you can play. You don't have to be Yngwie Malmsteen. You can be Robert Quine. Or my favorite guitar player is probably Link Wray. You know, a lot of Link Wray plays his chords. He's like a lead rhythm player. He doesn't play like, you know, flashy Toto fucking guitar solos or anything. You know, you don't have to be, who's that guy, Steve Lukather? You don't have to be, you know, some jazzbo to have, that's what blues is really about. I mean, right? It's just about feeling. It's not about, you know, how complicated what you're doing is. It's kind of about the opposite, you know, just getting it across however you can. So I don't know. That's why the open mic is important. It's important to be in front of people and get that experience being in front of people. To be honest, when it's really packed, I kind of get scared. I don't know. I'm honestly, I thought going on stage a lot was going to like cure me of my fear of the audience. I don't know if that's ever going to change. You know, like I still kind of feel like I just want to get on and off stage as quick as possible because I don't want to risk doing something that fails. And so a lot of times in the early parts of the show when there's more people in the audience, I kind of like dodge attention because I'm like, I don't want to feel the sting of failing or bombing or saying a joke that doesn't land. I don't know how long it takes to get used to that kind of stuff. I mean, to be honest, even being on stage once a week is not enough. You got to be doing it every day. But, I don't know. It's been hard enough for me to even set up the once a week thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to set up another night now that I'm sort of making a stable income from the Monday thing. I'd like to set up another night of the week because then I'd be well on my way to actually having like a livable income. If I had 2 days a week where I'm making the money that I'm making now, that would be like a good foundation, particularly because I'm making money doing something that's like helping me build, you know, my creative ability. You know, to actually get paid to host this open mic, that's a huge thing. You know, I've never been able really, you know, even though I have had this kind of career as a filmmaker, it's just I've been doing corporate videos and vlogs. You know, the reason why I started vlogging is because this actually is the way I want to make films. You know, scripting it, casting it, all that shit, I don't know. I'd like to try that, but it's nice to have the immediacy and it's nice to just show real life. It just suddenly feels like everybody's doing that. And so time to try something else, maybe. You know, time to just morph into the next thing. You know, the thing with the Scenes from a Life is like, I want it to be an ongoing thing. And if you watch all of it, you'll see that it does change. The early episodes are a lot different than the episodes I put out now. And over the years, they kind of change a lot, you know, with the form. And so that's an ongoing organism. Not that anybody watches my old vlogs. I mean, some of the fucking original things have got like 10 views, 12 views. It's pathetic. But, I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time. What am I going to do? Maybe I should just sit for a minute. I don't know where the fuck I am. Okay, maybe this is the Great Lawn up here. Okay, let's see. But anyway, thank you for watching. You know, hopefully the background is interesting. I think, you know, this has been like a Lord of the Rings. You know, I just thought coming to like a forest would be a change of pace from typically around buildings. I'm in Manhattan. This is Brooklyn. But I thought this was been a pretty exciting episode. You know, there's all kind of life teeming in and out of the park. And, you know, we've traversed a lot of different ground here. Quiet forest, the lake, had some nice shit. You know, finding compositions within the ongoing reality tunnel. You know, it seems like there are things that have a frame and have a kind of memorable finality to them amongst the background of just every second of life that we absorb, our ongoing traveling through it, walking, driving. You know, it always kind of moves in this kind of tunneling point of view. But then there are scenes we remember, moments we remember, images we remember amongst that. There are things that feel kind of picture framed and recorded. Maybe that's what a movie does. Or me, I kind of want to show all of it. You know, my poetry is kind of the same way, where it's like there's definitely moments of consequence in it, and more thought out poems that are more condensed within this kind of ongoing stream, where there are things of less consequence, things that seem unrelated, seem like tangents, seem like invasions of the narrative, but the narrative is ongoing. And there's recurring things, there's callbacks, there's foreshadowing, there's premonitions, there's predictions, there's prophecies. You know, I mean, I've been harping on the gender problems for like over a decade. I've been talking about how women are going to outclass men, no one is reproduced, men are going to be left behind. I've been saying that for a long time. Now it's like a fucking crisis. But, you know, one episode ends,